Forgot to start the timer. Let's do that again. Forgot to start the timer. God. Maybe I'm drunk as well. Oh yeah, it's Thursday. Like, dude, why are you even drunk? Like, Jesus. No, I missed a couple of shots and I got screwed over by the Grazers. So power. I've already lost like 6 seconds to the Grazers there. And then me messing up that fight is just no. So no, I missed a couple of shots. And the problem is, when you miss shots in that fight, the enemies are gonna run for cover, or they're not gonna stand still.
Where's he gone to?
So basically, yeah, the more you miss, the more the enemies are gonna move around, and it's they get very hard to hit.
What's going on with him?
So basically, don't miss. You can lose a lot of time very quickly if you miss a lot of the shots.
Of course.
Yeah.
And some of them will even go behind cover, so you have to... yeah, some of them even goes behind cover, and it's really annoying and tedious, and... You know, it's like only 5 minutes into the run, so it's like, why not? Why not just reset it? Like, that's the mental reason why I do it. It's just like... It's very early in the run, so I don't really care too much.
Explosions and shouts from outside the embrace.
If it was like a half an hour into the run, I probably wouldn't care that much. Probably play it a little safer as well. I could play that proving a lot more safely by using a lot more slow motion. But yeah. Obviously every time you use slow motion, as you probably can tell just by using your logic, every time you use slow motion you of course lose time. Because slow motion is slow. Fun fact. You learn something new every day. Slow motion is slow.
I can use the tall grass approach. Okay, let's see. Where can I place my traps?
There was a time during that fight there with the Sawtooth where I didn't understand exactly how the Sawtooth worked. Like, I thought it was just random if he was gonna attack me a lot, so I would use slowdown a lot there. But obviously I understand pretty much how that fight works, like the mechanics of it. And it pretty much just comes down to, if you stand too far or too close to him, he's gonna attack you no matter what. Even if you freeze him, then he's not gonna get stunned.
So, look for... You should be... For you.
I have to let him go. For now. First, the proving. After that,
Hit that bridge.
I'll see where his trap is.
Aloy! It's you!
Are you?
Teb is... As you...
What's it
caught there.
What kind of school do you go to, dude?
You know, yes,
I want to go to that school as well. If that's let's just throw a party and have a day off tomorrow.
Get down from there! Bad enough you're drunk.
Excuse me.
Why do you have to go climbing houses? You'll have to tell this when I'm gone.
Sounds like a fun place.
Over here.
You're the...
What?
What's...
Polly.
Wait.
No.
Whoa, hey.
Isn't it... What?
What is you? What is not?
I...
Yeah, I mean, you.
I thought...
She got any.
Compared to 5 years ago, the entertainment.
Start the blessing when all aspirants are in place.
There's Owen. I have some questions for him.
What a good squeeze past this.
Oh, so this is cute.
Theo? Oh, I...
You know...
What I... But I... All you... You...
I go to a production school in Nordsjælland. That's true, Surfa. They're very productive. Jesus Christ.
Razor. And again. Gotta catch up.
This Grazer really determined to hit me. But see, those Grazers were a lot better. I didn't lose any time to them.
Gotta catch up.
But sometimes when both of them hit you, you just...
Slow and steady now. All you need is to finish.
It's annoying.
That makes all but one. Is the outcast coming?
She was behind me. No way but forward now.
Right there. I can't see.
Keep in mind the first Grazer pack is still RNG, because if you don't kill all of the guys in the front row, they will hit you. And let's be honest, it's kind of RNG because I just blindly fire at the front guys and hope most of them die.
Good. I'm gaining.
Look! The outcast is catching up!
How did she get up there? Made it. Now hurry. Keep at it.
So if I don't kill all of them, one of them can hit me and knock me away from the guy I want to loot. And sometimes I'm very unlucky and I don't actually kill any of them. That is very rare.
But I had the
That's usually my own fault for having a bad shot problem.
perfect.
But we're talking very minute RNG, like we're only talking like a second or two, which over the course of 2 hours is like nothing.
Come on, you can make it.
There's a lot bigger time loss potentials in the run.
Kill the invaders!
Like this fight right here. Now that was some smooth shooting on the first 4 guys.
We can't win! Don't give up!
Can't afford
Oh no! There's more!
fight.
They keep coming!
Watch out! There's more of
How
them!
many are there?
Thought that was gonna miss. Kidding me? Are you kidding me? Come on! Oh my god! Ah! Why am I so bad? Whatever. Fuck it. God, that was horrible. Last phase of that fight.
They must
Jesus.
have found me before I bled out. I'm picking up some kind of signal. There. With the rest of my... Are you saying I was born here? Inside the mountain?
To be fair, the last 2 shots was my mistake for not hitting him. But him getting behind that cover, so I only had a few pixels to hit him with. Now that was troubling. Obviously I could just have hit the shot in the first place, but whatever.
Am I going to meet her?
It's complicated.
Whatever.
Please, just follow me.
Oh, you're going to film school? Sounds fun.
You said the tribe was on the brink of extinction. What happened?
After the massacre at the Proving, a great war party was sent after the killers. Less than half.
How was the war party defeated?
Killers do not fight alone. Somehow they have a power
So the killers got
To be
away.
fair, all 3 of those hours you're talking about, Sir Power, would all have hit on easy difficulty. Because on easy difficulty you have aim assist.
For all Mother's mercy, as though she would not want us to help
But on
us.
ultra hard, the game is like, nope, no aim assist for you.
This was my plan. To show you where you were born and loose
whatever.
you to follow the destiny All Mother intended for you. The other High Matriarchs are waiting for us. You no,
Even-
yes. If any,
Nora faithful,
Sing until we're forced.
we will soon begin. Purify your hearts. Soon we will make forgiveness.
And less impressive. Yeah, I guess you could say that. I have not played the new God of War game.
All Mother will forgive us.
It looks good.
The outcast approaches. Ignore her.
I need.
I've only watched gameplay
If you
from
forgive-
other streamers.
And I.
Brave! Ready yourself! Maybe find a turn! Demon! All must be respect!
Gotta get in position. Here it comes.
Attack!
Watch the Striders! It's driven them mad!
It's down! How'd you do that?
I can't.
Exactly. But
I think I know.
Braves!
I need to find a machine. Test this override device. It worked! It's not Striders. I can test the override device.
Yeah, I don't really buy a lot of games on release either. I kind of want to see gameplay for the most part. Unless I trust the guys making the game.
No. If
Which
isn't. I should.
usually isn't the case
The warp you might.
I.
in most games.
This Strider is fast! This beats walking.
God is protected.
The last game I
should
bought
try
on
overriding
release
other
was
kinds of
South Park:
machines.
The Fractured Butthole,
Probably can't ride them all, but I might find a use for them.
which I gotta admit I did pre-order that game just to get the Stick of Truth on PS4. Yep, my PB really messed up that fight. Yeah, my PB basically just messed up. There's not really much to say about it other than that. Shouldn't really lose that much time on that split. It is fairly consistent.
That man
It's fairly consistent.
doesn't look low.
That fight with the demon.
My focus is
Or the
picking up
corruptor.
some kind of signal. Maybe I can scan it.
But to be fair, the guys that made the South Park games, you know, I kind of trusted them because the first game was so good, so I didn't really expect the second game to be, and it wasn't. But I will say the Fractured Butthole, in my personal opinion, wasn't as good as the Stick of Truth.
But no.
I think a problem I had with the Stick of Truth was in terms of the funny parts, were more focused on. All the funny stuff in the game was more focused on recent events and newer South Park stuff, whereas the Stick of Truth was basically just like all of South Park mixed together, like the history of South Park.
What?
Var-
All I.
Raptors are your favorite machine in the game? Yeah, they have a cool design. And I remember when I first played this game, I had a lot of trouble with the Corruptors on my first playthrough because I didn't really. At that point, for some reason, I just didn't really think to hit their weak spots. And yeah, like my first playthrough was terrible. when I look back at it.
Ah, they saw us.
From what I remember. I just remember the corruptors took me so long to kill because I'd never hit their weak spots.
More like a military camp.
Here she is.
They could know word it.
That's the case with these games. Once you understand how they work, they're so easy. Or like, they just become easy. Or when you discover how overpowered it is to freeze machines in Horizon. Most machines, that is. Oh yeah, Canada expansion would be lovely. Haven't they released the DLC yet for Fractured Butthole? I haven't really looked into it. Maybe they have and I haven't realized it. Yeah, most people don't realize how effective freezing machines are, even though the game actually tells you during one of the hunting grounds. So most people, when they see the speedrun the first time, they're like, oh, the freezing helps so much. Wow. And it's just like, yeah, it does. And one of the hunting grounds, it literally tells you that most machines are very vulnerable to freezing.
Here they come. Corrupted watchers.
Last guy.
I've done what I can to change this line of corruption.
There we go. That's pretty clean. Could be faster, but pretty clean. One of the hunting grounds, when you do the freeze trial in, I can't remember what the hunting ground is called, I think it's called Great Valley or something. It literally tells you that freezing machines are gonna make them vulnerable to damage. Like, something like that.
Sounds of fighting. Has something attacked the Purge fort?
Turn back, girl!
corruptor.
These machines are dangerous!
Where are you headed, girl?
That's a really good card you're boarding.
To Meridian.
Open the gates!
The way
Okay.
where the
You are all about fire? Yeah, a lot of people use fire in the first playthrough.
Carja and Shadow.
Fire is somewhat effective, it's just not as fast as freezing.
The world beyond
Fire is very effective against corrupted machines, so I think the game actually tells you that. That corrupted machines use fire on corrupted machines.
looks like
Which yeah, is true. Fire helps a lot on
this fire
corrupted.
leads to Meridian.
But a lot of the machines you fight are not corrupted.
Talk. And he will pay for all the lives he's wrecked.
It's funny, in the DLC, electricity is really... Ooh. Stonebird almost knocked me off. Electricity is very useful in the DLC because demonic machines, which are only in the DLC, are affected by what's it called? Shock. However, freezing is still faster when you do a DLC speedrun. Unless you play on easy, then use electricity. But on ultra hard, it's just safer to use freeze because of how the storm slinger works on ultra hard difficulty for the DLC speedrun. Yeah, that's true. Oh yeah, also in the Frozen Wilds they even explain it a lot more, because they have an entire trial you do with I think she's called Igui, the character in the hunting ground, where she literally freezes all the machines for you and show you how you can kill them with very few arrows when they're frozen. I guess that was kind of Guerrilla Games' way of saying, hey guys, can you please use freezing some more? It helps a lot. I think that's why they implemented it, if I were to guess. Because they probably saw that most people that played the game never use freeze. Even though it's, you know, it's very effective. They probably sat at the round table at Guerrilla Games headquarters and said, we don't have a lot of Articuno users playing our game. That's a Pokemon reference, by the way.
Is my fate to only experience adventure in cliff books?
Yeah, once you have made it so far in the game is like in your face. It's true. It's just like that. Oh, now you're gonna tell me freeze helps a lot. Thank you, game.
I'm sorry for the wait, but all goods entering the city are subject to search.
An alert.
This is outrageous. We're loyal citizens.
What's going on here? Owen's in there, somewhere. And so's Erend, that other Outlander I talked to the night before the proving. Erend said he'd introduce me to his sister if I visited Meridian. Said she was captain of the Vanguard.
City's locked down.
It's always the merchants.
Not getting through, Outlander.
Halt!
Stop in line.
Ursa,
How?
I know.
Ha.
Hey, you.
Have you
Yes, it works.
As you.
There.
a lot now?
I do like Pokemon though. It's like the only Nintendo property I really played.
I need
I played the first 3 generations. Haven't played any of the other ones, but I really like it still.
Hey, come back. Olin's place.
Yes, they will be accepting more runs for ESA, Jace. They are gonna accept the rest of the games on the 13th of May. So on that day we will know if we're gonna be at ESA or not.
this word is
They have only accepted 33% of the games that's gonna be at ESA. So there's still a lot of games that haven't been chosen.
Let's give it a
And that's what they are looking for here during April. Until the 13th of May, they're kind of looking at how well people improve in their game.
Olin? I knew he
Oh yeah, Stadium was amazing. I love Stadium.
No doubt.
Me and my neighbor used to play Pokemon Stadium a lot. Against each other. Because he had 2 N64 controllers.
The glyphs show places
And we would just pick our teams and then fight each other. And you could transfer your team you had on Game Boy. You could transfer them to
Don't have. Look, few.
you could transfer your Game Boy team to Pokemon Stadium and use them as well. It was so good. So we could actually battle with 2 Pokemon, or like 2 Game Boy squads we had, and yeah, what's it called? Yeah, you could battle with your Game Boy team on Pokemon Stadium, in both Pokemon Stadium 1 and 2. Oh yeah, Pokemon Stadium was actually a really challenging game if you don't use transport Pokemons, that's true. We never actually fully beat the game when we were younger, me and my neighbor and my older brother who played the game. We didn't actually realize...
Oh, great.
We actually never realized that you could fight Mewtwo if you completed everything in the game, because we never achieved that. I remember going through all the gym leaders and the Elite Four and going through all the gym battles and the Elite Four on Pokemon Stadium was really challenging to do. I beat a lot of games when I was younger, but we never beat Pokemon Stadium because we didn't realize we would, we would actually get anything out of beating everything. Like, keep in mind, we were only like 5 years old at the time.
Kill her! No! You had your chance.
Could you not fight? Thank you. Still guys alive? What? Wasn't that good?
I'm the kid. I'm not. What are they? What do I don't when they and you hate
Still such
and what
I will
lose time now.
I'm
That fight, the human enemies in that fight was really bad. The corruptors were pretty good, but yeah, didn't lose any health really. Oh, actually I did. I healed myself. Forgot about that. Me and my brother wasn't the one owning the N64, it was my neighbor. So we only played the games he had. Because, me and my brother had a PS1 and we had a Game Boy Color. So no, we didn't play N64 a lot. Only when we were at a neighbor, which was quite often, because he obviously lived next doors. I did not have exposure to Perfect Dark, no. My neighbor... I can't really remember what games he had for it that well. I just remember the ones we played a lot, which were Pokemon Stadium, it was Super Mario 64. Wait, I didn't use an arrow there.
I'm glad that's over with.
So I know I never played Perfect Dark. He also had GoldenEye, which pretty much anybody who had a N64 had a GoldenEye.
Come on.
He didn't have any of the Zelda games. I guess he wasn't into Zelda for some reason. What else? It was Pokemon Stadium, Super Mario 64, GoldenEye, Banjo-Kazooie. That was really fun. Banjo-Kazooie. Oh, was it a really important game to you?
Is this Shadow Carja territory?
That's fair enough, man, if you love your games. Like, a really important game to me from the first generation I experienced, besides Pokemon, because Pokemon was, like, my shit when I was younger, for Gen 1 and 2 and 3. But, like, the Spyro games means a lot to me, because the Spyro games were the first games I ever completed fully without any help. And also Crash Team Racing, just because I've played. Crash Team Racing is probably the game I played the most in my childhood. I changed your mind on FPS games. That's nice, man.
Uh-oh. What's that?
I think it's calling in machines. Get ready.
I've always been more of a PlayStation guy. I've never really been into Nintendo. Because besides my neighbor having an N64, I never really have been on Nintendo stuff. I had a friend that had a Wii, but we only played Mario Kart on it.
Ursa's men didn't fight back.
Besides that, never really been Nintendo.
Shattered. Something hit these stones.
Oh yeah, the remakes for Spyro. Oh my god, I'm so excited for them.
What are those leather
I
straps?
can't wait. If they are just as good as the Crash remakes, I'm gonna be so happy.
And a rock with blood on it.
Hopefully they're just as good. Oops.
Looks like you could mount some equipment on that thing. There, by the tripod. A used power cell.
So yeah, I'm super excited for Spyro remakes. I lost 2 seconds there, it's fine. Oh, Apes Odyssey. A lot of people talk about that game. I've never played it. And I've not really seen much gameplay about it. Gonna get hit. Retarded mound again. Just. Hey, Tiny Bell. Nope. 2D platformers has never really been my thing. I grew up with 3D platformers, so I never really played SNES or NES, so 2D platformers never really interested me. The only 2D platformer that I played and somewhat enjoyed is Shovel Knight. And the only reason why I played Shovel Knight was because it had an amazing soundtrack. I really liked the soundtrack in Shovel Knight. So that was like one of the reasons why I played it. But yeah, I've never really been into 2D games or 2D platformers. Had no excuse to not play Sonic Mania. Oh shit. Oh, the soundtrack is amazing. I haven't actually listened to it. It's just when Shovel Knight was around, a lot of people made cover songs for the Shovel Knight stuff, and that got me interested in playing it myself. Because the music in Shovel Knight is absolutely amazing. It's the best soundtrack I've ever listened to. In any video game is Shovel Knight.
Spine through my focus again.
Yes. If they make a Horizon Zero Dawn 2, it will definitely be a PlayStation 5 exclusive. Unless they make it really fast and it can come out on PS4 as well, then yeah. But it's never gonna be on any other console. Unless Sony really changes their mind, it's never gonna be on any console that is not a Sony console. So no. Sony owns Horizon fully. And Guerrilla Games. is like a Mario game. It's not gonna be on other consoles. They didn't secure it. Like, Guerrilla Games is part of Sony's lineup. In case you don't know, the guys that made Horizon Zero Dawn made the Killzone games, which are also exclusive.
Did it. What the hell was that? Hades? Hey!
So Sony has been... Sony owns... I don't know if they fully own it. I don't know how it works exactly. But Guerrilla Games will only ever make games for Sony. Due to the Sony being... I don't know. It's an exclusive developer for Sony, basically. But yeah, they made the Killzone games, and now they've made Horizon. So, unless Guerrilla Games somehow get bought out by something else, which is very unlikely, you're never gonna see a Horizon game on any other console. Plus, even if Guerrilla Games were to be bought by, let's say, Microsoft, for example, or Nintendo, they would not get Horizon Zero Dawn. Then Sony would probably still own the license to Horizon Zero Dawn. But they would get the developers. But they couldn't make a Horizon sequel. And yes, the Killzone games are pretty good, except there's a few mishaps. Like, Killzone 1 is not very good. But Killzone 2, really great. Killzone 3, amazing. Shadowfall was, in my opinion, it was decent. Could be better. I feel like Shadowfall was probably rushed a little bit to be a release game for PS4.
It'll be a long way up. Frozen metal most of the way. If plants can find a way to hang on up here, guess I can too.
Not that I have played, no. The bow and arrow feeling you have in Horizon Zero Dawn is the best I've ever experienced. A game that also uses bow and arrow a lot, that is also really good, is the Tomb Raider games. But it's not even close. The Tomb Raider games are good, but not as good. The new Zelda? Do you mean Breath of the Wild? I've not played any Zelda games. I've never played a Zelda game in my life. The only thing I've ever seen about Zelda is speedruns. Which have been on ESA and TDQs and other marathons. So that's all I've ever experienced Zelda with. Never played it. Never seen anybody really play it casually either. So I don't really know what to make of Zelda.
All data has been erased from this device. Do you wish to deploy item privileges?
Not because I hate Zelda for any reason.
A file has been recovered.
It's just that I've never really owned a Nintendo console. I've never really been into Zelda.
It's been years.
Like, you have to keep in mind, the only Zelda console, the only Nintendo console I have ever owned is a Game Boy Color and a Game Boy Advance.
I assume your daddy confirmed.
Like, that's the only two.
Alright, this promises to be interesting.
Perhaps we could have lunch brought in. You know, get reacquainted.
I know you, Ted. You screwed something up, something big, or you wouldn't have eaten the crow necessary.
But I will say, the speedruns of Zelda looks pretty cool. Most of them. There's definitely a lot of glitch abusing in Zelda.
Your killer robots?
Peacekeepers, yes. Those.
Which one is that?
So shut
On the
them
Game
down.
Boy Advance. I still have my Game Boy
Yes,
Advance,
we
by
would,
the way.
if we could.
Oh, Link
Not
to the Past?
responding.
Are you telling me a swarm has gone rogue, Ted?
People say Link to the Past is one
It's
of the
worse
better
than that.
games.
Show me the data then. And I'll take that lunch. Alone.
Ted Faro brought Elizabeth.
But I will say, from what I've seen from Breath of the Wild, Breath of the Wild looks amazing.
Another file has been requested.
This isn't a glitch.
Oh, it's on
It's
SNES?
a catastrophe.
Fully
Nice.
aware. It's bad.
Bad?
I think most people,
It's not
just from
bad.
what I've heard when people
It's
talk about
apocalyptic.
Zelda, most people say
You built a
Ocarina of
line
Time is the
killer
best one.
robots
Peacekeepers.
that consume biomass
Of course,
as fuel.
In emergencies.
maybe Breath of the Wild
You
is
make
better,
it
but
capable of
let's give Breath of the
self-replication.
Wild a couple of years before we start comparing.
Not anymore. The glitch severed chain of command. The only nation
Because
this war
obviously
uses to
Ocarina
rise
of Time has
itself.
had like 20 years or something.
Everything else is just food. And at the rate it's replicating, Ted, it will strip the Earth bare in 15
Oh yeah,
months.
I assume you can't really compare the 2Ds to the 3D games in the Zelda series.
Extinction.
I get
It's
it,
the same
Liz.
with Mario. Like, people, you can't really compare the 2D Marios
It's
to the
not
3D
contained. It
Marios.
can't be.
It would be impossible.
You know what I mean?
Right. Before the truth gets out, you mean?
Liz, I will do anything you say. Keep working it, and whatever you recommend, I'll do.
I'm gonna hold you to that, Ted.
The Faro robots threatened all life on Earth. But somehow she defeated them.
Probably gonna
The
be
world of the
behind
old
after
ones
this.
Fell, but life went on, or we wouldn't be
Pretty
here.
sure I'm gonna lose time on this play.
A final file has been
Project
requested.
Zero Dawn.
Already.
Jesus, Liz.
Oh yeah, Rage?
Way.
If there were a nicer way to fix
I
your
have,
mess,
I have
would have
played
proposed it.
Rage, yeah.
This?
Yeah, that game was surprisingly
I
good.
asked you to find a cure. I didn't expect it to be
Another
worse
game
than
from
disease.
around the same time as Rage came out that a lot of people don't talk about is Resistance from Insomniac games. Like the Resistance games don't really get talked about that often, but they're really good.
That? Liz, I cannot in good conscience sign that.
That's true, but Rage was pretty good still.
I know.
I'm speaking to you from a VTOL en route to U.S. Robot Command. In 15 minutes, I meet with General Harris and the rest of the Joint Chiefs.
What? Are you crazy?
Now your choice is what I tell them. Sign.
Yeah, most
and I will
people
tell
haven't
them
played
the wealthiest
Resistance
corporation
games.
on Earth has guaranteed the funds necessary to build Zero Dawn.
Not sure why though.
Exactly as I've
The
designed
Resistance
it.
games just came out and
Sign,
nobody...
and I will make sure
Most people
they,
didn't really
everyone
play them,
else
they
on
didn't
this
do that
planet
well.
knows the real cause
That's
of
why
the glitch.
Insomniac Games stopped making them.
Jesus,
I think they
Liz.
made free games.
You don't have to threaten me.
I think it was also something to do with... I think the first Resistance game wasn't that good, but the second and third one was really good.
Look on the bright
So,
side, Ted.
you know, there's that.
From here on out, you get to do what you've always been good at.
Oh yeah, I'm
Footing the
actually gonna
bill
lose it
while
quite
others
a
get
bit of
their
time.
hands dirty.
Sucks.
God forgive me.
Probably lose 15 seconds maybe.
So,
Or
or
you
but
we defect
what? Of course, right. I can't. Someday.
I lost 22 seconds. Kinda messed up the menu a little bit there as well, but... Whatever. It's not like the run is dead to that. Yeah, I think the Resistance just got buried in other games at the time. I think maybe if Resistance had came out at a different time, it would have
Focus
been...
is picking up some kind of signal.
The Resistance games kind of got overshadowed by all the other shooter stuff that happened at the time, with Call of Duty coming around. Battlefield games really picked up on console, and, yeah, you know. I think the Crysis games were also around when Resistance came out. Like, it was... Resistance just got released among so many other shooters, so... Like, there was just too many shooters for all of them to be successful.
This must be the last thing his mother told me about. The war chief stopped in here, dressing room. Might be a blood trail I can follow. I should try my focus. Tracks. Bullets and guns.
You see that sometimes. Certain games get released at a bad time next to other games, and then they just don't have a chance to survive. Especially nowadays, there's just so many... Excuse me. There's just so many video games being released all the time now, that it's, you know, it's kind of hard to be popular if you're not popular from the start. Or before the game is even out, you know. There's so much competition in video games now, on all fronts. Like, there's so many games coming out all the time. That's why a lot of you see a lot of AAA games these days have started to release themselves in spring instead of fall, to get away from all the other games.
The sin of the ancients is buried in that soil. Corrupted demons.
I know of them. I killed one at Mother's Watch.
It is definitely hard to compete now if you want to make a new game. Yeah, so a lot of people have tried to release at different times. Last guy kind of messed me up there.
Commanders, over the past month, accidental blaze explosions have killed a dozen men. Here in the Ring of Metal, I've taken the precaution of placing our entire stockpile in a covered shelter.
Your finger mortars? Yes.
And I posted guards
Yes,
to control
think of all the birds.
I urge you to take similar measures.
And every time you use the Storm Slinger, you think of Zapdos.
Supply Master Theron, out.
A blaze stockpile inside there. I found. Damn. There's
blood. Please.
I'll sound.
I only saved 2 seconds. The last guy, I should have killed him a lot faster. I didn't know. I kind of brain farted a little bit there. Let's see if we can have some good camps at least. We need all the Pokemon references we can get. But only the first 2 gens. That is a very long name you have there, sir. But thanks for the follow. What? Lost my old account again? That's a funny name. Oh yeah, the legendary bird thing is so fitting. That's true. And whenever you use some corrupted damage, you could think of, I guess Mew or Mewtwo would be fitting. I lost my old account again. Why didn't I think of a username like that? That's funny. Hey, look, Cage. How are you doing? Here we go. I'm doing fine, man. Still trying to get sub 210. I'm not really sure if this is gonna be the run. Kinda not gone that well. It's just been average so far, pretty much. No big mistakes here. Just a lot of small things. I get stuck there. Wow, he's gonna duck. I did not expect that guy to duck there. I did it again, I rolled by accident. Yeah, I'm trying to stay optimistic, but I'm playing so bad right now. All these mistakes. Yeah, adding up, dude. Alright, let's do this really fast, at least.
I've been seen.
That's pretty clean. At least I got one of the camps pretty well. It's just that I should really be ahead every time here. But I guess not.
Look, no.
If I'm
Sound.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Only 2 seconds and I could have said 20. Whatever,
Go
let's
now.
just play like a god for the
You
rest
wait
of
on
the
your
run.
signal.
Time to enter god mode.
You do have a plan.
We're only 11 seconds behind, I shouldn't really be that much.
moving into the ruins. Thought you trusted me.
I do, but how would
It's
you
just annoying when you know you have had a lot better runs than this.
Patience, Varl. You'll know soon enough.
Whatever.
Up you go.
Take my hand.
Could be a climber up there.
Yeah, I shouldn't think about those last runs. You're right about that. I need to get into, you know, a running mode where I only think about what I have to do every time. Like, only think one split at a time. Yeah, it's always easier said than done to have that mentality of just one split at a time. That's fine. My PB got a gold there, so it's kind of odd to roll against. It was just last week when I did runs, it was really good. Like last week when I got the PB, like I had that mentality all the time of just one split at a time. Those guys are gonna be in the way. Go! And I have to remind myself, I still have the 44 seconds to save on one split alone. Those 44 seconds are usually the saver. Instead, we have to get there first. The 44 seconds is at All Mother when you fight the Thunderjaw. My PB died at the Thunderjaw.
Fascinating.
Cost me 44 seconds. So it's a little bit right before the end game, really. So, but obviously, I still need. I should be able to at least get 30 seconds every time. But all 44 seconds requires a really good fight with the Thunderjaw as well. And the Thunderjaw is one of the hardest fights in the round. But but dying to it shouldn't really happen. It is a big incentive. Also, it's
This is it.
So just keeping up with my PB until that point is kind of like, you know, that's if I can just keep up with my PB until that point, it should be really good. It's just that I have been able to be, you know, ahead by half a minute.
They're inside too.
When I get to Eclipse Space and then I lose time there. But whatever, it's not time this time.
Must have been one of the soldiers that blessed this place. I wish I was there. All day very comfortable. There is the middle though. Guess they're used to it. of these since I was a little kid. There must be some kind of code. Maybe I should try scanning objects in this area. Free power lines, free sources. That makes one. That's two. One more. Okay, that's it. Sounds like that did it.
Not sure what you mean by that. Path guiding. What?
Tools being used. Resources. No others. Just
She's coming for us!
Oh, with the pathfinding? Yeah. There's a lot of stuff to think about with that. Probably is certain things that could be changed around to make it faster. I just really haven't been looking into it. To be fair, not a whole lot of people look at this game as a speedrun, so finding small details in the route usually just happens.
Our world, the planet Earth, Aloy. It's not flat like you thought.
Why would I think that? During eclipses, the shadow cast on the moon is curved. So our world is a globe. It looks like this, from a distance.
We'll discuss this another time.
Yeah, the on-screen thing, I never really use it. Obviously, I know the route in and out.
Eating everything up. Somehow.
Yeah, the
Elizabeth
pathfinding
stopped
could
them
be
before it was
better,
too late.
I guess.
But how?
Definitely isn't perfect. I hear a lot of people saying that they don't even want the Pathfinder on the screen all the time when they play games. They want to explore and find stuff themselves. I guess I could kind of agree with that. I barely even notice it's there when I do speedruns, for obvious reasons. Not sure how that fight went successfully, but it somehow did. So let's not think about it and just move on. I kind of feel like that. Yeah. Kind of feel like I shouldn't have been that lucky in that fight there.
Thank you, Dr. Sobek. You can take a seat.
This fight right here is really tough in casual play for most people. But once you understand how to do it fast, it's, as you can see, it's pretty easy. Or it isn't easy because if you mess up anything or miss any shots there, it's gonna fuck you up. But you know, it looks pretty easy, is what I'm trying to say.
Listening? Robots can't do the fighting for you this time. When it comes to hacking, this rogue swarm is an
There's a lot of minute details in that fight that most people don't really notice.
But this, we'd be throwing
In
civilians
terms of the
into a
speedrun.
meat grinder.
Most people probably just look at it and say it's easy. There's a lot of things you have to
And it eats biomass as
do
fuel.
actually.
Zero Dawn is all we've got. So we put a
Oh yeah,
gun
that's
in the hand of every civilian strong
yeah,
enough to carry
that's the
one.
problem with the
Show
Death
them
Bringer.
where the trigger is
It's fairly
and
easy to
pull them
hit.
to the front. How the hell do we
The hard thing is to freeze him.
giving them something to fight for.
Freeze him without taking a lot of damage.
The top secret super
That's
weapons
one of the
program that will
minor
save
things
us.
people don't
So
know.
long as humanity holds off the swarm long enough for Dr. Sobek and her team to finish it. The file I'm sending contains the war plan for Operation Enduring Victory. War plan? This is a war crime. It may be ugly, but it's something. Consider the alternative. Dr. Sobek, I've secured use of a decommissioned orbital launch base outside Bryce, Utah as the Zero Dawn staging area. Plenty of space there. When can you get started?
Not sure if I'm gonna save or lose
I've
anytime
already
here.
mounted a list of alpha and beta candidates. Most are foreign nationals or subjects of corporate holdings, so extracting them.
Might save a little bit of
You'll
time.
get your dream team. Count on it.
Then I'll be off.
What is that? What did these people do? Now I just...
It's Egypt.
Wait, what was... Now, how am I gonna get down from...
Actually save 6 seconds, so that's nice. The problem is, it might look like I'm good on pace right now, but it's just the end game. I really have 0 time to save in most of the end game. And there's one split in the end game, actually 2, but one of them I pretty much lose time on every time. So.
Great.
What do you...
He's in fault.
All of these
That's the
people are
thing.
here to see the sun.
Yes. Unpleasant, but rather promising. Sun King is eager to meet you. Machine tech. It's all very intriguing.
I'm not here to intrigue you.
That's the thing with the end game. It's just easy to lose a lot of time on certain splits in the end. Like, you can make a few mistakes and they can cost you so much time really quickly.
Ignore them. Nobles are like children in wine.
What's the Sun King like?
The most important thing is what he isn't like.
Oh yeah, the Stormbird can be such a troll in the Ridge defense.
I know.
Ah, nice. Slowly gaining time back. Slowly but surely. Oh yeah, the Stormbird is the toughest enemy to kill in the game. In my opinion. It's just because the Stormbird uses its stun attack, and the stun attack is just horrible. And then if it uses the attack, I don't really have a name for that attack, but where it flies really high up in the air and kind of launches at you. That if he hits with that attack, it will kill you no matter how much health you have on the ultra hard. Plus, you can't do any damage to him when he flies up really high up into the air. So that's the problem with the Stormbird. The Stormbird control you immensely. But you can also kill him very fast if you do a good job of aiming. But of course he's flying around, so it's not an easy job. For example, he's like the Glinthawks. Like the Glinthawks also fly around, but you can stun them using fire. So they're not as bad. Still a little bad though. In the DLC, the Glinthawks are really annoying. Oh yeah, it's a one-hit kill if he flies up into the air and launches at you on ultra hard. That will one-shot kill you. Unless you're very lucky and he only hits you a little bit. But it's also very easy to dodge the attack, but the biggest problem is... the biggest problem with that attack is you can't damage him when he does the attack. Like, he's using Fly in a Pokemon game, right? He's that flying Zapdos. So he uses fly, and whenever he uses fly, I can't hit him. That's another Pokemon reference. So, and obviously since I can't hit him, I can't do damage to him. Plus, you could say, okay, when he's in the air, could you just attack the Deathbringer instead? No, because I still have to move around, otherwise he's gonna hit and one-shot kill me. And if you die doing Ridge defense, that's automatically 2 minutes time loss. Because there's only one checkpoint during the entire Ridge defense section.
Right. Why would I expect
And it's like 2 minutes.
So much more exciting to keep it on.
Yeah.
Crash the Eclipse focus level.
And it's around 2 minutes if you die in Ridge defense to the Stonebird.
Oh wait, I forgot. We won't. I do all dangerous stuff. You just listen.
Obviously, I don't die a lot in Ridge defense because I'm pretty good at it at this point.
Right.
And
what now?
But I think I accidentally hit square instead of triangle there. What? Maybe I hit them both. That was a mistake. Use this little bit.
Held in reserve for war to come.
So, you want to keep a lot of potions around for Ridge. Ooh, oh, shut down there. For Ridge defense, so you can tank a lot of damage. Because if you try to dodge everything, you're gonna lose more time. Instead of just tanking damage. Oh my god, this is so annoying. This is so bad. Doesn't matter, let's get the skip first try.
To me, brothers!
The ground tank's churned up.
There we go.
Come on,
Leading towards that gate.
Easy every time.
The gate's barred. No getting past that.
We'll have to find another way.
Problem with that skip is if you fuck it up, all the enemies are gonna throw their grenades or slingshots at you, and obviously you can't do the skip when there's stuff exploding around you. So that's why it failed yesterday.
Some kind of structure.
Because I missed it first try, and then all the enemies were like, hey, shoot grenades at her. I did.
I don't like this. It feels wrong.
Because obviously you can't really do precise platforming when
destroy it. Keep moving or you'll die.
Yeah, it looks very nice. The really good thing about that skip over the gate right there is before we found that skip, or before Sushi posted it, I don't know exactly when he found it,
Keep running.
but before that skip, we had to do the fight with all the enemies there in order to progress. But the enemies there are extremely random, so that fight was actually really annoying to have to deal with. So for that fight not to be in the run anymore is very nice. Because the enemies there are very good at going into cover and dodging all your attacks as well. And some of them you need to headshot because they have armor on, otherwise it's gonna be a one-shot kill. So, yeah.
Almost there!
The whole base is on high alert.
Yeah, I noticed.
One of the coolest tricks, I guess. In terms of skips, yeah, I guess that's one of the coolest things.
No.
Still lost 13 seconds. Kinda had bad RNG with all the machines at the start. But it's whatever. Could have done a better job of dodging them. Yeah, it's cool in all the ways it needs to be cool. Some people think the Revenge of the North thing is pretty cool as well. But, you know.
Sunfall. The Mad King Duran's summer palace. A bulwark of Carja might against the howling Forbidden West.
Thanks for the history lesson.
But they have no idea what lies beneath.
But yeah, jumping across that gate is probably one of the things people who who've only played the game once or never watched it before will find cool.
The sun. Proud tradition of the cult. Now we get to see if your attack on their focus network was entirely successful. Success. Welcome to the Citadel.
I think the most impressive thing is just seeing the entire run and how efficient all the fights are when they're done correctly. I think that's why most people like watching.
The shards. First time in the Citadel, gotta see the sun ring from on high.
There's another skip. Normally you have to climb down a long climbing path to get down here. But you can jump down between those two pillars there. But if you don't land exactly between those two pillars right there, that's why I take time to line it up.
I've shown you the way in.
If you don't take time to line it up so you make sure you hit it correctly, you will die for falling damage.
You should be fully
or be very close to dying.
And focused. No distractions. If you have errands to run, do them first or hold your peace. I won't tolerate whining. Is that clear?
Oh yeah, platforming around mountains. Yeah.
I didn't ask you.
If you like seeing a lot of the, you know, going over mountains and stuff, and all of those skips, platforming skips, then I'll definitely recommend checking out the DLC run. The DLC run has a lot more of that.
Zero Dawn.
There's a lot more skips in the DLC for some reason.
Take a seat and wait for your please proceed into viewing room.
Also, the fights in the DLC are really impressive to watch when they're done well.
A holographic theater.
CD01 data intact. Initiating playback.
That doesn't make sense. Life on Earth didn't cease to exist.
He said it could not be stopped.
But it was. Somehow Elizabeth saved us. I've got to keep looking. Find out how she did it. Kestrels. They got in. Through the vents.
Let nothing.
I can pass them. Undetected.
Spread out!
The data points.
If it moves!
By the way, I'm just gonna say it now. I'm gonna finish this run no matter what. Because I don't have time to do another one. So no matter what happens, I'm finishing this. Because I have to go to work later.
By a machine.
Intruder! Get her!
Whatever you do, don't die. Is there another route?
I've done this before. Here we go. Another one of these. I need to find the right. Found one. Looks intact.
Right there, you might not notice it, but right there I'm actually grabbing the thing there called the emitter. I'm grabbing it through the floor. Normally you would have to do two puzzles here. One puzzle that's right behind me opens the door so you can go upstairs and get the emitter. But by squeezing yourself into that corner, you can actually pick it up through the floor. Which is what I'm doing there, to skip one of the puzzles. And also having to go upstairs. I did not discover that, no. I have no idea who actually discovered that. It was there when I started running the game. It was one of the first things that was found in the game, I think. That was a nice shot on that guy, actually. I'm pretty sure grabbing the emitter through the floor is one of the very first things people found in the game. But I have no idea who found it. I've never asked about it by the other runners, actually. Yeah. To be fair, I could have killed the first three guys faster. And right here is another skip. As you can see, I jump out of the catwalk there to drop down to this door. Normally we have to go around and go through a a couple of enemies. You don't have to kill any of the enemies, but obviously you skip having to go all the way around there with that little skip there, and it actually saves, I think it's 35 seconds doing that little skip inside Zero Dawn here. That skip inside Zero Dawn, I found it. But a lot of the other stuff are mostly found by other people.
I kept on this you were
yeah, this little part here is actually packed with a couple of skips and tricks. There's also another skip you can do in there, but it only saves 5 seconds, and if you don't do it fast, you don't save any time at all. And it's a lot harder, so I don't do that trick yet. Because it only saves 5 seconds, but it's as I said, it's
Another hit, and that pillar will come down.
as I said, it saves 5 seconds, but it's really hard to do. Or it's hard to do it fast enough for it to save time. Let's put it that way. So, as of right now, I don't consider that's the second skip inside Zero Dawn worth it. Yeah, not worth the risk. Because if you mess it up, you're gonna lose time to it. And as I said, it's only 5 seconds.
Hey!
So that's clearly not worth it right now.
They've got something to do with this lifted.
It's a pretty clean fight with the behemoth. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna gold this split.
Of course, if you not happy,
You're
stop. I'll be.
Wait.
Yes.
the tr
When the in the meet,
you
one of they look for you.
Yeah, I'm gonna gold this split. Yeah, the level of the behemoth could be higher, I guess. I don't think the behemoth... If the behemoth was corrupted in that fight would have been more interesting. Yeah, that was a gold. That's nice. It was actually quite a big gold. I don't think I resetted my splits last week with all my goals, so I don't think I've had a perfect behemoth fight yet. So that's why I had that gold right there. I feel like they could have made that behemoth corrupted to make the fight a little more interesting. Maybe, or maybe have some couple of small machines before you fought the behemoth. Actually, a thing I have thought about they should have added to the game is a way for you to revisit the Sun Ring, you know, in the game, and do a couple of arena fights where they just send machines after you, or maybe human enemies as well. Like they should have made that where you could go back to the Sun Ring and do arena fights, like in Ratchet and Clank games, where you go to arenas and fight different things. And I feel like that could have been fun to do in casual play, and also 100% speedrun. That would probably be included in 100% if it was in the game. Obviously, story-wise, it probably wouldn't make sense to have to go back into the Sun Ring, but I'm pretty sure they could have figured something out. By the way, this skip up the mountain here is also a thing I found. This skip saves, like... If you have good RNG going the other path... Why am I not getting up there? There we go. If you have good RNG going the other way around this mountain, it's gonna save you only 5 seconds. But bad RNG on the other path can be bad for you. Then you lose a lot.
And Sona, they're still alive.
Swing there.
We did it!
Where's Val?
Aloy did it! We only helped.
For the generations before me!
Where's Val all the way over here? Couldn't find Val. Got them.
I need
going up that mountain, so if you go the regular path there's a bit of RNG, or there's a potential for bad RNG. But if you have good RNG on the going the regular way, you save 5 seconds. But if you have bad RNG on the other path, you can save like 15 seconds from going up the mountain.
Look upon me with favor. I pray my words reach your ears today.
Hey, so sheep out. Have you? What? She?
Talk.
Hold for identity scan.
I see you're inside.
Figured I might be hearing from you.
So it isn't a whole lot, but it's it takes away RNG as well, so it's nice. Makes the run more consistent.
Looks like they didn't like this guy very much.
Genetic identity confirmed. Entry authorized.
Of course they hated it.
Dr. Sobek. You are cleared to proceed. Welcome to Elkjaer.
So, what is this place exactly?
The dream of Apollo. Never realized.
Why not?
Priority drug access. Identiscan malfunction rectified. So won't be allowed. Route 1 access unsealed.
This is going to be interesting.
Yeah, it's always good to have a consistency on a run.
Will be forgotten by the goddess.
I can't imagine people running, what is it? Super Mario Sunshine, which is a very popular speed game. But there are like some places in that game where you have extremely bad chances of RNG. And imagine really grinding that over and over. I'm assuming they lose a shit ton of time to RNG. I think there's like 3 places in Sunshine where there's just major RNG that can screw with you. But yeah, obviously the more consistent a run is, the more fun it is to speedrun in some ways. There are also people that like games that have a ton of RNG. Because that forces them to think on the spot for a lot of stuff. Where, because there's so much RNG, they need to know everything about the game. There are people that speedrun Diablo 2, and that run is so RNG heavy that the skill of that game is not necessarily how well you execute. Well, it is for the most part, but also just the sheer knowledge you need of that game. Because the RNG determines how everything goes in that run. Oh yeah, there's some games. Obviously, I don't think anybody runs those party games like Mario Party games seriously. But people that have record for those games, you know, are probably just RNG, right? Let's be real. But there are probably some world records out there where they just have godlike RNG for some reason. Yeah, saved a lot of time.
Low and quiet does it.
I could understand why that would be frustrating if you grinded the game and never got good RNG and you just saw the guy on top. Yeah, that split was minus 24. That was the 44 seconds I was talking about. Unfortunately, my fight with the Thunderjaw wasn't that good, so I only saved 25 seconds. But if I had a really good Thunderjaw fight there, I would have saved 44. That was the Thunderjaw I was talking about. It's the only Thunderjaw you fight in the run. Compared to 100%, I think in 100% you fight, I think it's 5 Thunderjaws in total. No, it's like 7 or something, because there's a hunting ground where you fight Thunderjaw 3 times or something like that. Like the last hunting ground in the 100% speedrun. But obviously on 100% you play on the easiest difficulty because it's the fastest. And it's also, if you were to do it on the hardest difficulty, you would have to grind a lot more for 100%. Oh shit. Kidding me. Can't believe I messed up that. A little skip there. Oh well. Let's go and get a good fight at the workshop. Now I need a good fight at the workshop. That was kinda... Ah, that was not good. Don't hit me. Thank you. At least he was shooting. Oh, you didn't think it was it. Have I ever fallen through the floor in this game? No, I have not. And I've never accidentally clipped into anything. So, yeah. Never experienced that in the game. That is... I've seen through walls in the game before, but I've never experienced falling through them or clipping through them by accident. I've seen video clips of people doing it, but nobody's been able to do it consistently, so it doesn't matter anyway. Nobody has a consistent way of clipping through stuff in the game. So we can't clip through anything.
That shot nearly had me.
Where's the other girl at? Come on! Fucking bullshit.
Ursa must be in there. We have to get through.
Truly, come on.
Stay put until I find a way past it.
I still think it was pretty good.
Just notes about crafting. And a letter tucked between the pages.
No, I haven't seen several videos. I've seen some videos of people clipping through stuff. But, didn't split.
Talk's attacking. I'd better see if I can help.
I've seen but people getting clipping through stuff by complete accident. By getting boxed in by a couple of machines and then pushing them through the wall. Or floor. I've seen that, but not anything that could ever be replicated consistently. God, that was frustrating. Whatever. Keep focused. I think I'm about 18 seconds ahead, by the way.
Please help! Leave me here to die! Help!
If anybody's wondering. That was so good except for the last two enemies there. In Borderlands. Don't, please, no, come on! Fuck you, Hitler. Come on. Yes, my endgame in my PB was pretty good. The biggest, except for the last fight with Hades, I can save time. But everything else was pretty solid. The biggest problem with my endgame is the ridge defense. Where you use the Azuran cannon. In my PB that was flawless, pretty much flawless. So, not losing time to Red's defense is like
corrupted.
Very hard.
Not corrupted, but they will not tolerate humans.
So what else is new?
I'm doing really well on medicine, so Red's defense shouldn't be.
Watchers on the other side.
Yeah, it's the most frustrating PVs to run against when you have really good endgame. Or it's the hardest ones to run against are when you have good endgame. The most frustrating is when you have extremely good early game. That is hard to run against as well. Because you're gonna be resetting a lot just because you're gonna be behind very early a lot when you have a really good early game. Just because you're like, I'm like 20 seconds behind, but my early game was amazing. You know, those feelings, right? I have had runs where my early game has been amazing.
Do they think they're fighting Gaia?
I doubt they think at all.
But yeah, the hardest is definitely when your end game is good, because that requires you to be ahead before the end game. Otherwise, it's going to be very tough to save any time. It goes both ways. Like, the best PBs you can run against are the runs where one split was just absolutely terrible, and you can just get a big time save every time from that. Or the runs where every single split was probably just average.
Army of machines for me to deal with?
Since when were machines any obstacle for you?
Of course, any PB is probably hard to run against once you've optimized it enough. But obviously, if you have an average one, then saving time on every split is kind of possible. But also runs where you just have a time save, or like one massive time save at some point. Also very helpful.
This is exactly the kind of... You...
Genetic identity confirmed. Entry authorized. Greetings, Dr.
Mind your footing.
Guess that's my way across.
Yeah, one split, that's like 44 seconds.
Glad that's over.
But I remember having PBs in the past where one split literally had like 1.5, 2 minutes on it. Like some of my early PBs.
This.
Blueby, thanks for the follow, man. Blubby.
Once this was all
But yeah, having PBs where just one split you can save like 2 minutes on is amazing. There was one of my PBs where I lost like 1.5 minutes in one of the very last splits. And it was just like, yes, every time you got to the end game you could just get that 1.5 minutes.
How slow?
This is Charles Ronson.
Years. Concern yourself with stopping Hades and extending the future.
Of Gaia Prime.
It might live long enough to hear them.
This morning, malfunctioned. Gaia Prime's port seals were designed to close with a seam of but this one closed with a 10mm gap. Enough for an energy signature to bleed through. Enough for the swarm to detect this facility.
That's also the problem with my PB now. I don't really consider my PB that good, because my early game was really bad in my PB. Early game and mid game was just bad and somewhat average for the most part. But my end game was so good, and that's why it turned into a PB. But it's just a little annoying. It was 7 seconds off 210, even though I didn't think of that at the time.
Now what I signed up for? Either we send someone out, or all of this was for nothing. It should be Liz's decision. So when is she going to get here?
She said 5 minutes.
Oh yeah, you get that feeling because I skipped one. But yes, this is the Gaia Prime is the longest split in the run.
I've repaired the seal.
It's like 13 minutes, 14 minutes long.
1.4mm. Confirmed.
Elizabeth, no. We'll find a way to bring you back in.
It's not gonna happen. The swarm's too close. Really. It's alright. Gaia's complete. She'll take care of things from here on out. That's what she does.
Not like this. There's so much we...
Guys, you know...
Oh yeah, that was like my PB. My PB was just, you know, very average in the start, and then in the end game I just played really well. And it turned into a great PB.
Happy trails, Liz. And see you around.
And for some reason I just haven't been able to beat it. Obviously I just got the PB last week, but I still feel like I should have beaten it by now. But you know, you always feel like that whenever you think your PB isn't that good.
That was the last transmission of Elizabeth Sobek. She gave everything for the hope of life on this planet. And we are all in her debt.
Oh.
Aloy,
she doesn't... If it...
What?
No, sub 2 hours is not happening on ultra hard anytime soon. I'm pretty sure it's possible on the easiest difficulty, but nobody really do runs at the easiest difficulty on New Game Plus.
Looks like it survived the blast.
At the moment.
Because it was armored.
I'm thinking about doing runs on easy difficulty to grind for sub 2 hour time, but you know, right now I want to get a good time in ultra hard first. Just because I'm pretty sure on the easiest difficulty you can do it sub 2 hours.
When I opened the hatch, the air rushed in from this side.
Because there was no...
I'm locked out of core control. Alpha clearance overridden. What the hell is Omega clearance? Oh no.
But yeah, sub 2 hours, we need to find a couple of skips or something to help with it before we get close to that.
This isn't easy.
As you can see, my summer best is only 206.
Please. Stop trying
So
to
still
access the
far.
system, okay? See what this is about is I said stop trying to access the goddamn system.
But I guess you could say 205 is kind of like a milestone before 2 hours.
I can't stop thinking about the ones who come after
But
us.
obviously not as big as 210.
Those blameless men and women. We're gonna give them knowledge? Like it's a gift?
Ted. We've talked about this before. Apollo has 3,000 plus fail-safe conditions.
It's not a gift, it's a disease. They're the cure, and we're gonna give them the disease. Our disease? No, we can't. And it's not too late. If we're willing to sacrifice.
It doesn't need to be like this.
It already is, Samina. I did it 3 minutes ago.
But it's always nice whenever you see a speedrun go below a certain time.
Sacrifice is cultural obliteration, you crazy bastard. Millennia of culture.
I'm sorry. Really, I am. But sometimes, to protect innocence, innocents have to die.
Emergency alert. Captain Alice.
But yeah, sub 2 hours would be amazing if we could achieve that on Elkjaer at some point. I just don't think it's possible right now.
Like
The world, not a...
Try not to fall to your death. The master override doesn't override gravity.
Almost fucked up there. That's bad movement. Getting out of here.
For our but some the truth. I help because when I know which yeah.
So
I take my
then, oh.
15 seconds ahead. I need to be clutch at the end game here. Because I'm pretty sure I'm gonna lose a good amount of time on Ridge defense. Because that split is fucking tough to run against. But maybe if I get a really good fight here with Derwald, that would help a lot. Because if I can get 5 to 10 seconds out of this split as well, it's gonna help a lot. And obviously I think I have like 10 seconds to save on Hades. Maybe 15, not sure.
I've sent a messenger to the claim to let... I'm glad she wouldn't tell...
Only.
If I'll
meet
Aaron, take him ours.
Hey, look, when we... But you would... Is it fine? We will. Let's have a chat. No, a colorful discussion.
Able-bodied adventurers, preferably with no friends or family.
Or he is a surprise for us.
Is it a bomb? Doesn't look too big.
Big enough to kill us.
All right. I'll shut up.
If I try to take it apart, a booby trap will set it off.
That's a lot of blaze.
If that bomb downstairs goes off, it'll be just what Dervahl promised. Smoke will darken the sun. As the city goes up in flames, there's gotta be a way to stop it. It looks like a wooden bracket. Not very strong.
Guards, bring water, or a fire might spread to the
reasonable sheriff. Get to the fire and shut up a bucket line.
What happened?
I haven't heard a blast like that since the liberation.
Everyone needs a splash of color.
There's smoke rising from the edge of the mesa.
The tracks lead inside. Another one of Dervahl's hype. This must be where Dervahl ascended the deck. Dervahl did find a way into the palace.
Wish I could be there. Something out there.
Do the work if you can get him to do it for you.
Really fucking clean. That was pretty clean. Let's go.
Hey, look, you would budge.
Yeah.
Come on.
Well.
You know what? Now trying to.
I keep.
No.
Hey, it's
It's
hey, please.
Heat with it. It will weak.
I'm trying.
Marie.
Perhaps yes.
And
no.
I don't.
Oh, that was nice. Let's go.
Quietly does it. Panic in the city will only create another enemy. And do keep me appraised of each new arrival. Ah, word but exact so other.
Let's go. It was probably the best durable fight I've ever had. Even after I resetted my goals, or with my old goal splits, it's still pretty good.
Empty. Should I sleep? Did I leave anything unfinished?
Let's go. Time for the end game. Let's hope we don't get too trolled here. Let's go. Come on.
Campfires, perhaps? Massing forces for the long march to the city gates?
That's not with smoke.
And what is it?
The end. Or how it begins, anyway.
You spoke of?
To the guns! To the guns!
Your laptop died? Man, you missed the perfect durable fight.
By the sun, do as she says!
Oh, come on. This endgame needs to be sick.
Set loaded!
I had a perfect
Will the guns hold them
durable
back?
fight. Yeah, can you shut up your PC until the run is over? That would probably help. Anyway, I'm gonna focus now, guys. Probably not gonna look at chat.
Healers!
No! Rally the vanguard. Send reinforcements.
Aloy, no!
We need those guns!
He
Not
will cut
this
you
time,
down!
chat.
Not this time!
You have vexed me long enough.
Should have caught me in a suffering then.
Alright, time for Ridge defense. This is the hardest part of the run. Because you can get trolled so hard here if you're not careful. And I mean really careful.
Meridian! Hold the line!
Where do you need me? Time to go.
Not over yet.
Chance to catch a breath.
Not over yet.
And prepare.
So close to being one-shotted there.
Incoming. Gotta drop it and move.
Let's go. That was pretty good. Fucking killed Zapdos. Not the best Stormbird, but I'll take it. I'll definitely take it. Now, let's kill Hades. It's not over yet. Still have Hades, but we have so many healing potions. So just tank all his damage, if you really want to.
My own mother is alive. I thought you were killed.
The others, are they...
No.
wounded but alive.
Thanks for the good luck, Severin.
Machines blasted
Paid
through
off.
and kept going.
Well, not the best. I lost most of the time because he went up into the air with his sky attack. And it almost hit me. It almost hit me. If that sky attack hits, in case you don't know, that's a one-shot. I'm dead if he hits with that. God, my heart was pumping so fast during that entire Ridge defense. I was so scared something was gonna go terribly wrong. It's not over yet. It's not over yet.
It must have gotten through the defenses. Aaron's vanguard. I have to get up there. Gotta keep going. Keep pushing. I knew this wouldn't be easy.
Imagine if that Stormbird had killed me, that would have been so annoying.
Hey,
no,
we're about right.
I should stock up. Last chance.
Here we go. This is it.
System threat imminent.
I'm more than a threat.
Let's go! We did it. Yes! I knew it was gonna be a... I knew it was gonna be a run like this. That's gonna be 210. Damn. GG, man. This feels so good after the last 2 days of shitty runs.
Master override armed.
Thanks for the GGs. Oh my god.
Name and rank.
2 terrible days of runs and now we're here.
Master override activated. Purging extinction protocol.
Thanks, Blobby. That wasn't even a good Hades fight, man. It's only a PV by 16 seconds, but it matters so much because it's under 2 hours, 10 minutes. Yeah, you're right, Serpa. I just needed a PB, man. ESA has no other choice. I don't know about that, man. But if they tell me that I haven't improved in the past month, They can go kiss my ass. Damn. I guess the next meaningful wall, personally, is gonna be getting a really solid round. Like, a really solid run is gonna be a 208 with all this stuff right now, I think. But again, like I said, this run, I'm just gonna say it right now because I'm thinking about it right now. This run was just really average on pretty much all the splits, except for Derwol fight and the Sun Ring. Oh yeah, the next important barrier is up too, but let's not think about that now. But like, pretty much every split was just average. So beating this is gonna be a little, mentally it's gonna be easier because it's gonna be easier to just save time on each split. But 209.51 is achieved, boys. I should post this in the Discord.
Okay, Gaia. Sorry
in the
about that.
Horizon Discord.
Where was I?
You were telling a story.
Right. Yeah, so,
But yeah, sub 2 hours is gonna require some new skips and stuff.
Electronics kit, but
But man, it feels good to have finally gotten a sub 210. Kind of felt like it was coming the past. For the past 2 weeks, I feel like sub 210 was gonna happen.
6. My mother was home.
And we're
thank
here.
God, so
Obviously
called the
not
fire
the best run,
department,
but
and
at this
after,
point I don't.
She took
I
me
don't
out to
really
the
care.
lawn
Sub 210.
and showed me the dead baby birds because there were nests in the pine tree.
Query.
My PB a month ago. A month ago it was like
I'm
213
not sure.
something. Or maybe no, it was
remember
216.
yelling that I didn't care.
But
And
back then
that's
I
when
didn't
my
have an
mother took my
SSD,
face in
so.
her hands and spoke.
And also a lot of skips have been found in the past two or 3 weeks. So
She said I had to care. She said,
so that has also helped a lot bringing the time down.
if you don't make the world better.
A lot of consistency
You have to use your
improvements
smarts to
and
count
fight
for something.
improvements and
To serve life,
all the small
not death.
skips in the run has been found here in the past week.
You
Or the
often
past
tell
couple of
stories
weeks.
of your mother, but you are childless.
So,
I never had time. Guess it was for the best.
If
So,
you had
yeah.
another child, Elizabeth, what would you have wished for him or her?
I guess.
So that has obviously helped a
I
lot
would have wanted
from my old
her
PBs.
to be curious. And willful, unstoppable, even. But with enough compassion to heal the world. Just a little bit.
Oh yeah, I bought an SSD. I think I got my SSD 3 months ago. Or 3 months, 3 weeks. So that obviously helps a lot. The SSD cuts off like 3 minutes of total time, I think it is. About 3 minutes.
Anyway,
so yeah.
that's all I've got for now, Gaia. Time to tuck in.
I wish you a pleasant sleep, Elizabeth.
Thank you. I'll catch you tomorrow.
So my PB, or like my SSD, yeah, my SSD combined with all these new strats and skills.